Imagine being sealed inside a massive, fully stocked supermarket with 50 complete strangers, where the last person to walk out the sliding doors wins a staggering prize, 2 crore rupees. That is the exact survival experiment engineered by this man. During the first few days, the contestants treated the lockdown like a massive indoor playground. Shoppers happily built elaborate defensive forts out of snack boxes and claimed the temperature-controlled freezer rooms as VIP bedrooms. This top-down blueprint of the supermarket shows exactly how the players initially organized themselves. Because food and supplies were practically infinite, the group quickly entered a sociological honeymoon phase, peacefully forming powerful alliances anchored in distinct safe zones around the freezer and snack aisles. We can see those early alliances formalized as the map divides into colored territorial zones. The contestants managed to distribute the store's massive footprint equally among the different groups, ensuring everyone had a fair share of the space. When you provide a group with unlimited physical resources, starvation or thirst will not eliminate anyone. In an environment defined by abundance, the only real threat to a contestant's survival is the collapse of their own cooperation. By the end of the first week, the novelty of the snack forts wore off. The psychological friction of sleeping under fluorescent lights with 50 competing individuals turned the supermarket into an active war zone. Anonymous acts of aggression began to surface in the dark. Contestants woke up to find their inflatable beds secretly slashed, and the store's only recreational basketball mysteriously vanished. Then the sabotage escalated to a critical level. Overnight, the communal cooking burners were stolen directly from the central camp. Without access to a stove, the mountains of raw meat and rice sitting on the shelves were completely useless. Taking away the ability to cook a hot meal instantly shattered the fragile truce between the aisle factions. The missing burners created an immediate vacuum of trust. Paranoia swept through the camp, and the terrified group desperately needed to find a specific target to blame for their misery. The mob quickly locked their sights on one specific player, Xavian. The group had a logical reason to be suspicious. Xavian already had a verified history of causing chaos within the store, having previously sneaked away to intentionally ruin a rival team's inflatable bed. He was also responsible for the second known offense. Xavian confessed to taking the communal basketball and throwing it in the trash, an act committed purely to provoke the contestants and stir up drama. The contestants saw a history of chaos and stopped looking for new evidence. Because Xavian had already been caught slashing beds and stealing a basketball, the mob decided he was the only person capable of stealing the burners, regardless of the lack of proof. A terrible reputation turns a person into a lightning rod for collective anger. The mob was so eager to punish their least favorite housemate that they completely ignored the physical evidence of the actual crime in favor of an easy, satisfying narrative. That is where Detective Guddu stepped into the investigation. Instead of evaluating Xavian's abrasive personality, he started verifying the physical timeline of the heist. Look at this split-screen timeline tracking Xavian's exact location in the store against the precise window of time when the burners disappeared. Zeroing in on this 10-minute gap, the log shows Xavian pinned down in a completely different aisle. It was physically impossible for him to cross the store, steal the equipment, and return undetected. Realizing the store's testimony was clouded by bias, Guddu accessed the only objective witness available, the hidden, mounted security cameras operating high above the shelves. The footage revealed a highly calculated operation. The person quietly hauling the cooking burners away in the dark was a contestant named Colin. Colin had manufactured a brilliant misdirection. He organized a fake top 10 ceremony in a distant corner of the store, drawing the entire population away from the supplies. While everyone clapped and cheered, he quietly executed the heist, knowing Xavian's abrasive behavior would automatically make him the suspect. Effective sabotage is rarely loud or obvious. It is quiet, methodical misdirection that weaponizes the crowd's existing prejudices to hide in plain sight. When Colin's deception was finally exposed to the group, the surviving players stood frozen in shock. The revelation fractured whatever lingering trust they had in each other. Xavian was certainly guilty of being a nuisance, but Colin had masterfully exploited that exact flaw, using him as a defensive shield to absorb the group's outrage while he committed the real crime. The internal warfare quickly thinned the herd. Soon, only 4 weary contestants remained standing in an environment completely stripped of its initial comfort. Then, the architect of the lockdown delivered a massive final twist that completely inverted the rules of the challenge. MrBeast quadrupled the prize pool to 8 crore rupees, but added one critical condition. The 4 finalists had to stop fighting, pool their efforts, and consume the entire inventory of a freshly restocked supermarket as a single team. This single rule change instantly neutralized the mastermind strategy. If one person hid food or sabotaged a teammate, the entire group would fail to finish the inventory, costing everyone their share of the money. Xavian's antics drew the anger of 50 people, yet Colin's one calculated lie nearly ended the game for everyone. While the loud villain captures the spotlight, the true threat often operates